I'm Paco, and you're watching Bad Witch Books. Hey guys, today we're going to be going over my February wrap-up. It is already the end of February. We cannot believe where we are. That went by quick. That was a fast month. I mean, it is February, the shortest month of the year, also the best month of the year. But we will now get into the wrap-up. But first, we're going to have a chat from Stats Paco. Hello, so it's Stats Paco. Welcome back. We are going to go over the stats for February. So, in February, I read 9 books. So, I should be reading 10 books a month. Last month, I read 8. This month, I read 9. So, I'm still behind on my Goodreads reading goal. So, in a total, I've read, I think, 17 books so far. So, I should be at 20. So, I'm still behind on my reading goal. But I'm making it. I did better than last month, which is weird because this was a shorter month. So yeah, I read 9 books. Of those 9 books, 9 of them were novels. Of them, I read 4 debuts, 1 author that is new to me, and 4 authors that I've read before. All of them was, not all of them. Let's see. So on the genres, the biggest genre, of course, is fantasy. And then the next genre after that was a historical romance. And then after that, horror. Surprising. Okay. Most of it, what I read was, traditional. I read 8 of these books I read were traditionally published. 1 was self-pub. The format I listened to, 5 audiobooks, 1 ebook, and 3 physical books. Average rating was a 3.8. And let's see if there's any other news. Of the age ranges, I read 1 adult book, 3 new adult, 5 YA. No middle grade this month, and no children's book this month, even though I don't really count children because I don't really read children novels. 7 books were part of a series, and 2 were standalones. 6 were diverse books. 7 of these books had LGBTQIA plus representation, leading to a diversity percentage of 67%, which we'd love to see that. My goal is for my monthly stats to always have more than 50% of my reading be diverse. And then all the books I read were fiction. So that is Stats Paco. Let's get back to Paco, who's doing the reviews. I'm back. One other thing I wanted to mention, of the books I read 1,431 pages, 54 hours, and 56 minutes were listened to. So yeah, we will now really get back to Paco, who's doing the actual Okay, so thank you, Stats Paco. Now we're going to get into the actual reviews and things like that of the wrap-up. But I read 9 books, like I said. 1 book we're not going to talk about. It was an SMP book that I read for a book club, but we're not going to support that on this channel as long as the SMP strike is going on, because we are just going to stand on business. Yes. Okay. Let's get to it. So the first book I have here, actually don't have here, is going to be a ebook. I just finished this ebook actually just recently, and it was Accidentally Dating, I believe is the title. Here's the cover. And this is by Saxon James. This is by the same author that wrote a book I really enjoyed last year. I think it was like Daddy Cam. And this is a Kindle Unlimited romance that I really enjoyed. I didn't even realize this was the same author as that until like I was a little way into reading it. And I was like, wait, I know this author. But this book follows Molly and Seven. Molly has freshly moved out of Detroit after an embarrassing situation where just love is not in the air for him. His previous boyfriend had he had found out like his long-term boyfriend was like, he was the side piece, and then he had this embarrassing situation where he was trying to get with somebody, kissed them, realized that person had a like whole ass boyfriend, and so he kind of fled to Seattle to move in with his old college friend, who and his roommates, and one of these roommates is Seven, who he meets when he accidentally finds Seven handcuffed to his Seven's bed naked after a revenge scam by one of Seven's like exes goes wrong, and Molly kind of have to save Seven, and then they decide to help. Seven decides to like pay back him helping and like keeping quiet on the embarrassing situation by helping Molly out by like giving him fake dating advice to kind of start fake dating. It's like date coaching, I think they call it, and like to see where Molly is going wrong, to see where like these problems are arising, and it's fun. It was a really cute Kindle Unlimited story. The romance was hot, Seven was hot, and Molly was good, but I just really enjoyed it. And yeah, I gave it 4 stars, and I just really enjoyed it. And I'm gonna look more into what this author has, because like I really enjoyed 2 of their books. So yeah. So the next, now we can get into the physical books we have. So the first book I will be showing off is A Curse for True Love by Stephanie Garber. This is the final book in the Once Upon a Broken Heart, and I will feel like this is the most plot convenient story out of the trilogy, where it feels like we got from point A and point to point B, like the A to the point Z, without going all over the place, which is I feel like a problem with Stephanie Garber's writing. It's still fun. I still really enjoy her stories, but I really enjoyed this because I felt like the plot moved a lot of the way. Luckily, I do say I can find a fun with a lot of books because I'm not a huge plot person. I love plot. We love a good plot, but I'm a huge character reader, and so that's why I enjoy her books. And I like that about this, though, because who doesn't love a good plot? And also, this is a gorgeous Fairy Loot edition. So I gave this book about a 4. The next book I have here to talk about is Dawn of the Fallen by Kiri Mokoselko. This is the spin-off series of A Kingdom of the Wicked, where this series follows each prince of sin as they find love. And this follows Prince Envy. And in this book, Envy is competing in a game to save his court from the Fae. And he has to team up with a painter, Camilla. And the banter is good. Okay, so Kiri Mokoselko knew what she was doing when writing this book. Because this, I'm so happy with this book. Because I enjoyed the Kingdom of the Wicked trilogy. I enjoyed the last one the most, I think, because she kind of said fuck plot and, like, vibes. And that is fully what happened here. This is enemies to, like, not enemies is a strong word, like, rivals to lovers. The banter here and the, like, them trying to one-up each other was priceless. Like, I'm a person who, in my, like, many romances, I love tension. I love, like, when they're not fucking yet. Like, when they're, like, almost about to and, like, something happens. Like, I love me some of that. That is, like, my shit right there. And there's a lot of that in this book. And it's so good. This book was really good. I really enjoyed it. I'm very excited for the sequel. And I just really enjoyed it. So I give this, like, a 4 book stars. A lot of 4 stars this month, you shall see. Another gorgeous Fairy Loot. Next book I read was Beholder by Ryan Alsalada. And this is about our guy named Alphaeus. He has the ability to look into mirrors and rewind time to see what that mirror sees, but it always comes at a price when he uses his abilities. And where it starts off, Alados is kind of not in a great place mentally. He's just kind of like thinks of himself as a disaster. But one night he's at a party and he uses the ability and things go really wrong. Everybody at he's in the bathroom and someone stops him from leaving the bathroom and they're like, hey, don't leave. And so he doesn't, he like locks himself in the bathroom and he just hears the weirdest shit going on outside the bathroom door. And like he stays there all night, like things are like trying to get in and like breaking at the door, but he like keeps it locked. And then when he wakes up in the morning, everyone there at the party is dead and like arranged in a weird art setting. And so he's like, shit, I gotta run because they're gonna think I did this. And it just gets wild. Surprisingly, the romance in this book, I loved. We meet another character, the one that, like, kept him in the bathroom. Like, it's a cute boy that does it to him. That, like, pushes him in the bathroom and tells him to stay in there. And the romance in this was so cute and, like, tragic. Like, the ending had me tearing up. This is a horror, though. and it's creepy as fuck, especially if, like, mirrors and spiders are your, like, thing. It's good. I really enjoyed this. I did give this a 3.5, but I really enjoyed this, but I did love the banter between, like, just the connection between the two main characters. I was like, oh, they're so cute. I love this. So I will definitely be checking out more of Ryan Salada's work. He's an author I've been wanting to read more of. I haven't read any of their work. And so I'm glad I finally did, and I really enjoyed this. So, check that out. So the next book I have is So Let Them Burn by Camilla Cole. So, I'm not going to get too much into this. I will discuss the plot and what I rated it. But this, if you do not know, me and Jen from Genderqueer are doing the debut-a-thon to read certain debut-a-thon books and give them the love they deserve. So, this is the first book that were picked. And if you know why these books were picked, you know why, but we're not going to talk about that reason why. But this book follows Farron and her sister, Alara, who have recently, like, are the heroes of a war. Farron especially, because she is the Child Imperium, so she has the ability to connect with the gods and use their godly magic. And they have just ended a war, like, 5 years ago, I think. They were the heroes of the war, where their island nation, this is all inside, like, Jamaican culture, was colonized, and they beat back these colonizers and their evil dragons. And then 5 years later, they're at a peace summit that they have to attend because, like, even though the war is over, Farron is still the chosen one. And a dragon shows up and bonds with her sister, and the gods are like, no, we can't allow that. You gotta kill your sister. And then shit happens. But I enjoyed this. I gave this book a 3.5. I gave this book a 3. I still really enjoyed this. This was a really great debut. I will be continuing on with the series because the world is so intriguing. And I am excited to see where this goes. But that is all I'm really going to say. It is queer, so we love that. So, highly recommend. And please join us for our talk next month. I believe we will be announcing the date very soon. Next month, this video is coming out on March 1st, so this month. But please join me and Jen and our mysterious guest, because each month we're going to have a mysterious guest for the talk. So the next book I read was The Witchery by S. Isabel. This was for my book club, the Enchanted Forest Book Club. And I enjoyed it, but, like, after the discussion, I, like, didn't enjoy it. It was a okay YA book. Like, this fit perfectly for an okay YA. To me, the characters were really good. The world was great, but the plot was, like, alright. I am very excited, though, for revelations that happened in here and questions that were formed. I will be checking out the sequel just to see, like, what happens with the characters. But, yeah, but I didn't talk about the plot. This book follows 4 girls that attend this school because they are witches. And every year, I believe it's every year, there is a season where these monstrous wolves arrive from the swamps, and it's up to the witches to, like, form a barrier. And this year, the girls are deciding they want to end the curse on the town, each for their own reasons. And I really enjoyed it. Of course, my favorite was the Death Witch, but I also really liked Dahlia the Hedge Green Witch. So, I enjoyed it. If you are a YA lover, I'd suggest check it out. But if you are, like, straying away from YA lately, or if you are just YA is not your genre, I would say skip this. But I still enjoyed this, and I will be reading the sequel. Next is time for one of my most anticipated books of the year. Technically last year, because it was supposed to come out last year, but it got pushed back. And that is Son of Blood and Ruin by Marnelle Lares, I believe is how we pronounce her name. So this book follows Lenora. I was saying Lorena in the last video, but it's Lenora de la Casa Tonolins, who is the not crown princess, she is the princess of New Spain. She is just the princess because she is a mestizos, so her mother is indigenous, her father is a Spaniard, and she is, like, to be wed to a prince, and she is very, like, dainty, very, like, oh, I can't do anything, I have to be dramatic. But at night, she dons the mask of Panthera and tries to fight Spanish colonial rule for the indigenous people of Mexico. And I really enjoyed this. I will link down below. I just yesterday posted the vlog not yesterday, it was Wednesday. to me, yesterday filming this, it was yesterday, I just posted the vlog I did because this was part of my 12 Witchy books, but I really enjoyed this. I give it a 4.5. I loved it. It was great. I will say this book is probably not for everybody because the plot can be all over the place. But like I said, I'm a very big character and world reader. So if your character is great and your world's great, I love it. And like the plot doesn't have to be everywhere. But I'm very excited to see where this series goes. And of course, we have the gorgeous Fairy Loot because Jen from Genderqueer is amazing and is the GOAT. But yes, please, if this book sounds interesting, check it out. If you don't like it, don't tell me. I don't need to know that. Like, the fact that this book is the first book I've read where they had a character that, because this book takes place in, not ancient Mexico, people are still alive, but it does take place in ancient Mexico, of course. But this book had characters that were from the same tribe my family originates from. My dad's side of the family originates from. Is just something, like, I loved being able to see that on page. It is so, like, special. So, for that, this place will have a special place in my heart. So, please, check it out. And now, the last book I read, which I finished not even 10 minutes ago to filming this video. I, like, finished it, and I'm like, time to pull out the camera to do this wrap-up, because I was trying to finish this book before the month ended. And that was Forged by Blood by... Should have looked up how to pronounce this author's name, but I'm not going to fuck it up, so we're just going to look right here. But this book follows our main character, Demi, who is a... What are they called? I just finished this book, but I listened to it. So I want to, like... I didn't have to say it. Oluso. So they're magic wielders. They have the ability to use magic. And their kingdom is colonized. And, like, under tyranny, the magic users are, like, stripped of all rights. And, of course, we have, like, the white people in the book are the colonizers. And, like, people who have darker skin and, like, more darker features are treated like shit. And when Demi is 9 years old, her mother helps kill a boy who this ends up leading to her mother's death. And Demi will, like, holds that forever. Cut to 10 years later, I think. But Demi is asked to kidnap the crown prince. And her best friend take this mission. And it just throws them into a whirlwind of shit happening. I enjoyed this. I mean, I am freshly off this book. I did give it a 4 stars on Goodreads automatically, but I really enjoyed this, and I cannot wait to see where it goes. I think the action was great, and the characters were really interesting, even though some characters pissed me the F off, and I'm intrigued to see where this duology goes, because it is a duology. I am kind of like in my adult fantasy duology era, and I love to see it. But yeah, I can put the book down now. Gorgeous cover, though. I need to get the Fairy Loot edition, though, so if you have it, fight me. But that is what I read this month. What did you guys read in February? How is it already March? My favorite read, of course, was Sun and Blood and Ruin. Favorite read, closest to a 5 star. Still haven't got a 5 star yet. And like I said earlier, I am now at, I think, 17 books read. My goal, I should be at 20 if I want to keep my goal up. So I'm still not there yet. Luckily, though, I did read one more book than I did last month. So I'm getting up there reading-wise. But yeah, let me know what you guys was your best read of the year, month. And if you've read any of these books, what are your thoughts? And I will see you guys next time. Bye!